Hi guys, this is Sonia here with Sci-Fi Adventures, and I want to thank you for joining me for this video. I have been narrating my science fiction story Time Tracks, and we are in chapter 1, When Destiny Calls. And in the last video we did leave off with Sophia suddenly and mercifully hearing a voice. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick up right there in the story. She looked up to see a man standing in front of her who looked to be in his 50s, and her eyes filled with grateful tears at the sight of him. He looked back at her with kind gray eyes. He had darkly tanned, weathered skin, as though he had spent a lot of time out in the sun. His brown hair was streaked with gray, and he wore a funny blue cap that made her think of a train conductor. In fact, he did look like a train conductor. He had on a pair of grease-streaked overalls with the initials TC embroidered in white on the front pocket. Sophia was so relieved to see another human being that she could not help but smile at him. He smiled a big, broad smile back at her right away, and she began to feel more at ease. In fact, Sophia immediately thought him endearing in a rugged sort of way. She was the first to speak. "Oh, thank God, sir. I am so relieved to see you. I seem to be lost." Here her voice trailed off as she was at a loss to explain how she had gotten there or her predicament. She tried to continue. "I know it must seem terribly strange, but one minute I was in Asbury Park and then, once again she found herself at a loss for words. Seeing her struggle, the man spoke, and Sophia found his voice to be soft-spoken and as kind as his eyes. "Oh yes, miss, I would rightly say that you are quite a long ways from Asbury Park. In fact, it looks like you have entered a time portal." Sophia's heart did a flip-flop in her chest. Oh, this kind man must be crazy. Her normally light green eyes turned a darker emerald green as she felt panic rise within her again. Maybe she had not heard him correctly? Fighting an overwhelming impulse to run, she willed herself to speak to him again. "I beg your pardon, sir. I'm truly having the strangest day. Did you say I have entered a time portal?" "Well, yes, miss. But I want to reassure you that these sorts of things don't happen by accident." Sophia shook her head slowly in disbelief, certain that she must not have heard him correctly. Deeply shaken, she watched him take out a large gold watch with a long, old-fashioned gold chain fob from the front pocket of his overalls. He looked at the watch thoughtfully before speaking again. "My watch never lies, miss. I know this is all a mite hard to take in at first, but when my trusty watch stops telling time, it's always a sign. I reckoned I might need to make a stop here just in case someone might be waiting, and sure enough, here you are." Sophia's jaw dropped open, and she drew in a sharp breath, fighting back another wave of panic. "You mean your watch stopped telling the time too? I don't understand. What is happening?" Okay, guys, and I'm going to stop right there in the story. I want to thank you again for joining me. That does conclude the 4th installment of Time Tracks. And if you are enjoying this story, please be sure to like and subscribe so you can stay in the loop for more of Time Tracks and more of Sci-Fi Adventures.